So here we have my review of the Optimus G3 version 1.1. Just pointing out this is version 1.1. I did start out on version 1.0 and then switch to 1.1 to finish the test here. Note that most of the changes that occurred were bug changes. So here you are. This is the interface that you're probably familiar with seeing on the settings section for these Optimus-based ROMs. I'm going to switch to list view. It's that simple. And this is a lot more familiar to those of us who have been using Android longer. I understand why they split it up. Samsung did it too. It's useful for those that want to use it. So let's go through the settings here of the Optimus G3 ROM. Use your mobile data. You can check your usage. Use your call settings. These are pretty much what you come to expect. I will say that while tethering lets me connect to it, it does not give me an actual internet connection. We're going to go through the sounds. You got quiet mode here. I did not re-enable quiet mode, but I did test it on version 1. It worked just fine. I did enable it on version 1.1 because I knew I wasn't going to be on 1.1 very long, as I was intending on doing this review. There you go. Continuing on through. One of the things that's nice about this Optimus RS ROM is the fact that he does include some more sounds in it, and as you'll see later on, it also includes a custom boot animation. That's pretty nice, and shutdown animation. That's pretty nice. Good display here. Got your brightness. I turned it all the way up for this review. Normally I kept my brightness around 33 to 40%, and on auto, and it's been more than enough. So you got your same three screen off effects that you had before, your daydream options, your fonts, choose from, home touch buttons. I love the fact that they've included this in this ROM. The LG included this in this ROM. This is a feature that I find that I would request on other ROM manufacturers to include, as it is extremely useful. Okay, so here we go, transparent background, you got your color, and this is all part of the ROM, how it actually color matches the status bar here. It's pretty nice. It used to be called Bleed Immersive. And of course, hide front touch buttons, you can select which applications do that. Very useful to be natively built into the ROM. Good job, LG. Home screen options here. Got your smart bulletin. I'll show you that here in a minute. I'm sure you're already familiar with it, but just in case you're not. Theme support is located here, and it does work. Of course, there it goes. There are a few instances of lag in this ROM, and when I'm going through it, I'll show you, and hopefully it'll translate in the video. Of course, you got your options here, and I use this all the time, the home, backup, and restore. It saves me mountains of time on setting up my home screens with the icons and everything once the apps are installed. Here's your lock screen options. Here's another nice thing that has been added. If you're using the swipe effect to unlock lock screen, you have quite a few animations here, a lot more than what normally comes with the ROM. Note that Ocean is your flex style lock screen. Here we go. Wallpapers, widgets, missed calls, and new messages. One thing I want to know about this is that they only work with the built-in applications from LG. So, for instance, I'm using Hangouts. I do not get the notifications on the lock screen. However, if I was using the messaging application that comes with the ROM from LG, it does work just fine. The support is built in. I'm hoping that one day LG will open that up some, or that a talented developer can figure out a way to do it that doesn't take up too much of their time, because of course these guys do this for free, and it's just something I would like to see. I might be alone in that, but I doubt it. Weather animation, all the weather animations are working now in the version 1.1, and everything else is pretty standard. Got your one-handed operation here. So one thing I am noticing that with my Nav Bar set to the smaller DPI set, which if you want to do that, there's a flashable zip that's actually intended for the cloudy G3 ROM, but it works just fine on this one. As long as you're not using G3 Tweaksbox or G2 Tweaksbox or G2 Exposed to control your Nav Bar, as long as you're not doing that, then you can use the flashable zip to decrease the size. Gestures. One thing that's also missing from this ROM is that smart charge, which really all that does is slow charge or trickle charge the battery. So smart charging just kind of is supposed to be there to help prolong the life of your battery, but just takes a lot longer, significantly longer to charge. Really quick, even with a couple of reboots here that I was doing for this video, you'll see that currently I'm at 1 hour and 39 minutes of screen on time. I still have 72% battery. Not bad considering I've had a couple reboots here as I was both flashing the zip for the Nav Bar again and doing a couple small tests for this review. Going back, and I do like their battery indicator here. You got smart cleaning. This is not going to be useful until you can use the ROM for a long term. I obviously haven't been able to do that. That does not crash, so that's good. Default messaging application. It's nice as built. It's actually separated out from the top, so it's nice. It's got its own little place right here, quick to find. Dual window. This is all standard. This is nice. You can actually customize what a pressing and holding the volume up or volume down will do. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. You got your quick circle case here, and that is your settings. Here you have the smart widget. This is one of the appeals to the G3 ROM. Over here you have your LG Health, where you can track how many miles you have walked and your pedometer and how many calories you burned. You enter in your body weight, your height, and it can kind of configure that for you. How accurate it is, I'm not really certain, but I did test the pedometer today while walking, and it was pretty accurate in keeping track of my steps. So, I'm trying to see if I can't duplicate some of the UI lag here. We're kind of going through screens, it's very fluid. One thing that's pretty typical here is you'll see 742 megs of RAM, and I just rebooted this, and the only thing we had open was the settings, and it won't give me any more than that. I mean, it's all very, very fluid right now. I guess it's mostly what you observe when you're using the phone for a while. It seems that you get some lag, but right now we're looking pretty good. We'll open Tap to Talk real quick. This is an app that you normally see quite a bit of lag in, and it's still not terrible, but it's definitely there. That's mostly app related, by the way. Not necessarily 100% the phone, but I have seen it pretty smooth on some of these ROMs, and not as smooth in others. And just so you see that immersive, it hides that navigation bar down the bottom. Very nice, because I've selected that app to do that. Another nice thing about these ROMs, these G3 ports, are your notification shade. Very flat, very simple. If you get rid of the Q slide, you get more space. If you use G3 or G2 Tweaksbox or even G2 Exposed, you can use the long press settings to bring back your sliders or take them away. This is invaluable, and I wish that LG would catch on to this and actually integrate it into their ROM, because it's very useful. I like having my notification shade area. Also, as a note, DPI, you cannot change, or at least you can, but you won't have a working smart widget here, smart notification widget here. You cannot change the DPI of the launcher. This widget here has some real serious redraw issues, and while it functions and it shows you the text, there's little boxes that indicate that it's not working properly. It's not going to display properly. However, you can use app settings as I have here, and you'll see every app here in red I have gone in and changed DPI on, including the settings, so that I can actually enjoy the phone a lot better. One thing I want to show you is with the multitasking. Of course, you are presented with, let's open a few more things here. You are presented with the newer multitasking method here. Alright, so when we go to recents, you have your preview here, which is an actual preview of what the app is currently opened at. You can do a couple things here. You can clear all. You can go to your task manager. As long as you install the task manager from Aroma, when you go to install the ROM, you have to have that box checked. Otherwise, you won't get that option. Or if you see that option, it won't work. You can go straight to dual window. Okay. Which is, I don't know, what did that message say? Number of apps is not to start dual window. Okay, interesting enough there. Probably because of the apps that I have open. So. But one of the things we can do is press and hold back, and it's still saying the number of apps open, not of start smart window. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Maybe I'm running low on memory. Well, you saw that happen here. Anyways, This is also a feature of the G3 ROM, which is this new multitasking with dual window. Alright, so here we go with some battery tests here. You'll see we had 9 hours 23 minutes off the charger, some pretty steady usage here, 15% battery life left, and we had 4 hours and 36 minutes of screen on time. So if we're looking here, we can kind of extrapolate last 3 hours, we used 32% of the battery, so at that track we could probably squeeze another hour, so 5.5 to 5 hours and 45 minutes of battery life there pretty easily using the same usage. Here's my wake locks for that battery test. Here is our AT&T benchmark with the stock kernel, 32,734. Pretty respectable numbers there. As you can see, it stacks up pretty closely what G2 should be performing at. 19,492 on quadrant. Here's another quick battery test. 9 hours and 20 minutes off the charger. 84% battery life left, but this was with only 40 minutes and 36 seconds of screen on time. And here were some wake locks. This was during my troubleshooting period, trying to make sure I could maximize my battery life. This was showing you that the 4G LTE was working just fine, 49.8 megs down, 8.8 up. Here's another battery test here. We're at 48% battery left, 14 hours, 20 minutes off the charger. And we had 1 hour and 50 minutes of screen on time. So this isn't one of my best tests here. And you can see I had some consistent, Bluetooth kept the phone awake while it was transferring data back and forth to the head units, but it seemed like it took a little bit longer than what it normally does. And of course this 1013, which I've encountered quite a bit in your Android system here. Here's another quadrant test. This was with the Doramax kernel. 18,729. What I did notice, I had some problems with it sticking, even though, where's it at? The max frequency was set to 2.8 gigahertz. It did not actually go above 1.9, so I had to do some tweaking with it, and it showed in the AT&T benchmark as well. Did the same thing. It wouldn't go above 1.9. A couple reboots and some troubleshooting, and I did get that fixed. Here we are, 10 hours 5 minutes of usage on the battery, 54% battery left, and 2 hours and 39 minutes of screen on time. So we're right on track for that over 5 hour screen on time. And again, I use my phone pretty heavily, so that's pretty impressive. Here we go again. Add some wake locks from Swarm. I was working those out. Here's where I fixed it and got the kernel to actually stick to the higher clock, and we're at 32,058 on Doramax kernel. Here we are, 8 hours and 52 minutes of off the charger with 1 hour and 52 minutes of screen on time, 62% battery left. Still very, very good. I mean, that's easily 6 hour battery territory. Again, I don't know how well these pictures will translate. I see there's some light glare over here on the camera, however it's not actually in the picture. These are pictures from the G3 camera. Very simple interface. Does a pretty good job here on the focusing and of course the blurring on the back side here, just because I told it to focus here. These are just textures. These are some flower pictures. I mean, the detail it captures is very nice. The color application is there. This is in direct sunlight, and I was very impressed at its ability to focus on the image properly and capture the areas that I wanted to capture. The pictures actually came out quite nice. I mean, I'm very impressed with this camera already. The software just did a good job. It was quick, snapped pictures fast, renders really well, and again, as you can see, the color application and the detail here. I mean, this is a camera phone and the pictures look great. Here's some textures here, close up. You can see we had it focusing here, it kind of blurs out in the distance. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Don't mind those are my dogs. I did take it with a camera though on the phone. I did not really do anything with the G2 camera, which does come on the phone as well. Let me bring up the camera interface for you. This is the G3 camera. Of course, it's dark because my hand's over the lens here. You see the interface here? We're pretty close there. very simplified. It gets it right. Here's your settings here. Very simple, very easy to follow. Options. Of course, now once you get this mode, you're more reminiscent on the G2 camera. Alright, I'll open the G2 camera for you. And so if you're looking here, there's your G3 camera, here's your G2 camera. And here's the interface that you are accustomed to seeing. There you go. So you get two options this ROM. You get the G3 camera and the G2 camera. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a quick power on test, and I am going to time it. So here we go. Alright. While that's going, let's talk about the forum real quick. While this forum hasn't had to be moderated, or hasn't had to have moderator intervention as much as, say, the Cloudy G3 forum, it does have a lot of repeat posts and a lot of similar posts that are not dev related. The only way Optimus RS can improve his ROM is if we use his development forum for that development, to report development related issues, not to ask if certain features work, or to report the same thing over and over again. So 27 seconds, that's pretty good boot time there. Continuing on, use the Q&A, use the search feature. If you find a bug, and there will be, this is a pretty early, these are very early developments for the G3 ports, then do a search first, make sure it hasn't already been reported. If it has, don't report it again. If you have a question about a feature, want to know if it's there or not, use the Q&A section. It's pretty simple. So in my day-to-day use, I found that the GPS works just fine. It works just like it did on stock. It locks quickly, tracks fast, and remains rather accurate when being used for navigation. I did utilize the G3 Tweaksbox, so that was nice. One thing that version 1.1 includes built into it, though, is your advanced power menu options, so you can boot to recovery without having to use an app or having to use an exposed module. Google Play Music did work, no problem. Just like on the Cloudy G3 ROM, I did not get that same error with music playback on a regular basis like I did on Cloudy Flex. If you want to adjust the height of your navigation bar, there's a flashable zip. I'll include the link to that in the description below. FM radio does not work. It will open, but it does not work. And I believe it's because, again, AT&T has blocked the hardware for FM radio or has been omitted from the phone altogether. MMS and SMS. I did try the stock messaging application. Is how I learned that the notifications do work on the lock screen with that application. I had no problems, didn't have to make any APN adjustments. In fact, I didn't even have to go in and make any changes to the build prop, except for to change from COM to AT&T and from Open to US, or vice versa. Sorry. Because of the quick remote. But other than that, everything else was already working, no problem. Some issues I encountered was, again, some lag here and there. I did not have any launcher redraws, which is nice, but I did have some observable lag. Also, sometimes when I double tap the phone to sleep, it will, just like there, comes back on its own. It will turn itself off, turn it back on, turn itself off, and then stay off. But it does this occasionally. And it does seem to have lower than normal free RAM, which I understand. Free RAM, or unused RAM is wasted RAM, free RAM is wasted RAM, however you want to look at it. But there are those that care, and it does seem to be a little low. I've seen it hovering around the 200 megabytes free RAM more often than not after regular usage of the phone. When you are installing this, be sure that you are aware of whether or not you have a JDI or an LGD panel. A2DP worked magnificently with this ROM. I had no problems at all with either My4 Touch or Kia Uvo. My4 Touch even handled the text messaging from the phone like it's supposed to, and all metadata was shared through A2DP. Sound quality was great. No complaints there. As good as sound quality can be over Bluetooth. Phone calls, I had no echoes. That was nice. Callers could hear me clearly, even on speakerphone. I had no issues. And there are some users who are reporting MTP connections issues when they connect this to their computer. They're saying they click the install LG software and it doesn't do anything, and they can't connect or see their phone in their my computer or Explorer. I did not have this issue. I tried it multiple times, and each time it worked every time. So I'm not sure what's causing that issue for some users, but I did not have it, so I cannot report on it if I cannot replicate it. That is my review of the Optimus G3 ROM version 1.1. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions I did not address in this video, please ask. If you have suggestions on things you want seen tested, whether it be on this ROM or future ROMs, please make suggestions below. I always take suggestions and I always try to improve these videos. Thank you for your time.